Hey all you cool scouts and scouters, welcome back to the Scouts BSA Rank Advancement Series from the Chattahoochee Council. Today we've got some really cool things, and behind me we've got a model patrol campsite set up. Now some of you may have never seen this before, so we're going to walk you through it and show you what the ideal scouting campsite should look like. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, we have a very special guest on the show today. We got Mr. Bobby Childs with Troop 98. And he's going to tell us a little bit about our hand washing station we got in the model patrol campsite. Bobby?
Okay. Hey guys, so we've got a set up here for the 3-pot method or 3-bucket method for washing dishes. We've got our hot water for washing down here. See, our soap goes in the wash bucket. We've got our rinse bucket here, which is going to be warm water, not quite as hot as this, just warm. And then we've got our sanitizing bucket down here with our sanitizing tabs, or you can use bleach. And this is going to be your cold water to sanitize your dishes. So you'll scrub them, rinse them, and then leave them in here for about 30 seconds or so to sanitize them, and then set them up here on either end to air dry. You don't want to use towels or paper towels, because
why not?
More trash.
More trash, that's
leave
right.
No trace.
We're trying to leave no trace. Are you trying to leave no trace? All right, what's next?
What's next? Okay. Let's go over here to our chuck box.
All right.
So here we've got our chuck box. If you don't know what a chuck box is, this is where you're going to have all your pots, your pans, your dishes, your utensils, and everything for washing. So go ahead and open this up here and show you what we got. Got our frying pans down here, pots. See some of our utensils in here. I'm not going to drag everything out because there's a lot of stuff in here. Got a little bucket here, got our sponges, hot pot mitts, keep a little bit of just basic cooking stuff in here, salt and pepper. We like Tabasco sauce in our troop. So got a menu left over from our last camping trip in here. So normally we would have these posted on the back of the chuck box along with our duty rosters, but this one got left in here. Got trash bags, of course. You need your trash bags because what are we doing? We're taking everything out with us that we bring in. So pretty simple setup. This is just a nice way to store everything. You got a nice flat surface here to work off of. This one's got some nice laminate on it so you can work on it, easier to keep clean. The legs come off of the box here to store. Slide into this nice little compartment down here, so when this is taken apart, all you have is the one wood box, easy to store, easy to transport. Takes a couple of scouts to set it up, but it's pretty nice. Okay, so over here, we've got our cooking station set up. Got our nice little propane stove here. Got our lantern so when you get up to cook breakfast before daylight, so you can have breakfast ready for your patrol when they get out of bed, you can see. Also see to cook your Cracker Barrel at night. Works a little nice on the propane tank here right next to the stove. We've got ours running off one of the large propane tanks, but you can also just hook up the small bottles to this and to this and move it around however you need it. Got our support box over here that's got just general stuff in it. Got our hammer in here for hammering in tent stakes. We've got a tarp in here just in case it rains and we need to cover stuff up. More trash bags. We've got a grill in there. Just general tools is what we store in that. Just something to keep them out of the weather and keep everything organized. So one thing we want to point out, you'll notice we've got our stove and our lantern set up out from underneath of our dining fly there. And that's so, we don't generate a lot of heat coming up that can damage the fly. Doesn't smoke up everything under there when we're cooking. In general idea to have your flames and your heat sources out from underneath it. Now if it starts raining and we need to cook, we can move it into under the fly towards the center where it's a little bit higher. But generally you want to keep it set up outside to keep most of your heat and everything away from it. Now so people are walking around and they can't trip over the stove. Okay, so guys, this is our wood yard. Now I don't have any of my axes or saws or anything in here, but this is our wood yard we've got set up, and you'll notice we've got this nice bright rope around it here so it's easy to see. You know what it is. One important thing to remember about the wood yard, only one person in the wood yard at a time. You don't want more than one person in here with axes swinging around or saws so you don't get hurt. So I got my chopping block set up down here. If I had my axe, it would be in the block or have with a piece of wood. Got a little stack of firewood over here been working on to cut up to use for our fire pit later on for our campfire this evening. So this, like I said, this is our wood yard. Normally we'd have tools stored in here, but we just didn't drag them out today. So this is our fire ring we've got for our campsite. You'll notice we set up our dining fly and our tents well away from our fire ring. Now it is close to our wood yard because that's where we're going to be prepping all of our firewood to go in it. But it's far away from our tents and our dining fly, so we don't get ash or sparks or anything like that getting in there. Notice we got a nice ring of rocks around it here to keep everything contained. Got my shovel close by in case anything gets out. And I've got my water jug just right over here underneath my dining fly, still keeping them away from the fire, but still close enough if we have an emergency we can grab them and put anything out.
All right, and the last part of the model patrol campsite is going to be your tent space. Now, you want to make sure that you're far enough away from the area, especially your Scoutmaster's tent. A lot of times Scoutmasters snore really loud and it's really hard to sleep. But you also want to make sure that you're not set up under a tree that has a broken branch or a dead branch in the event the wind blows and that thing could fall on you. You don't want that to happen, right? That might hurt a little bit. But also, if you like to go to bed early, or if you're sleeping a little later, the cook's in the kitchen may be a little loud early morning, banging pots and pans around, or that Scoutmaster making his coffee at 5 a.m. So make sure that you set your tent far enough away, but also within the confines of the actual campsite, because remember, a campsite is found, not made. And that concludes our walkthrough of the Model Patrol campsite. If you have any questions or anything like that, we'd love to have some feedback. So send us your questions in the comments, send us a message. And I'd like to thank Mr. Bobby Childs for coming out today and helping us set up this campsite, along with Troop 89 for letting us use some of their equipment, and Troop 98, of course, for letting us use Mr. Bobby here. But we'd like to see your Model Patrol campsite. So send us pictures, put them in the comments on this video, send them to our Facebook page, however you can. We have an Instagram page now too, at Chattahoochee Council BSA. So you can always add them there and we can share them on our social media. So one last question, Bobby. Did you bring food?
No.
It's lunchtime.
Sorry.